Hey guys, did some shopping tonight, and for the last 2 years I've been running my Kodak cameras on these Duracell rechargeable batteries. These are a 2,450 milliamp hour battery at 1.2 volts DC, and these are a rechargeable style battery. And like I said, I've had these for about 2 years, and they worked great when I first got them. They had a lot of stamina. They'd last a long time. I could take, and still can with this older Kodak C330 that this video is being made with. These will still last the whole 20 minutes that this camera will record on this particular memory card. But in my C533, the camera I bought for $1 at that garage sale this summer, this thing requires a little bit more oomph to get it to work. And as these batteries are getting old, they're holding less and less of a charge, and this camera just eats them like candy. And in less than 4 minutes, sometimes not even that, about 2 to 2.5, this camera will have them brand dead, and then they're no good. So tonight I was at Wally World, and I bought a new pack of these. Now they've changed their styling some from what they used to look like. So you can see there's a kind of a green shiny design now, whereas these old ones had a little bit of bling to them. So we're gonna try these in this camera and see how they work, and get some new batteries. Hopefully I can take some better quality video for you guys, because this camera took really good video. The sound I didn't care for too much. And the other thing I was fighting with this camera, you almost had to have a light jammed up its backside to get bright videos, because everything you took in this camera come out real dark for the video. So in my shop I've got more than enough lighting than I'll ever need down there. Now these new batteries, their claim to fame is 5 years of use guaranteed. These are supposed to have an long life ion core. I don't know exactly what that means. They're supposed to hold a charge up to 1 year in storage, and they can be recharged upwards of 400 times. And they're pre-charged and ready to go right out of the pack. So these are nickel cadmium batteries, what these are. Of course, where are they made at anymore? Oh, where are these made at? I don't see it jumping right at me. Usually it does, it'll say made in China. Well, maybe these aren't made in China for once. These are a 2400 milliamp an hour, where these were a little bit stouter. These were a 2450. So let's break them out of the pack and put them in this camera and see how it works. Here it is, New Year's Eve day. It's about 5 till 12, high noon almost here in the state of Ohio, and we still have no phone service. And you see the phone still says no line on it. So they have until 5:46 this afternoon on the 31st of December to rectify this problem. Now they've been in contact via cell phone with both me and my wife the whole time, asking if our service has been established. And no, I hate to reply every time that they call that it has not been reestablished. And I have went out and did several tests on the phone system with a multimeter and a few other things to confirm that the problem is not within our house, because like I said, it cost them us, I should say, $85 for them to come in and examine the phone service on this end. So this morning I was downstairs. We have a one main line that comes into this house off of our telephone interface outside, and it comes into a distribution block, which then splits one line off into 6, because I live in a 2-story home. You know, we got phone out in the garage, it's separated from us, and a couple of cordless phones here and there, and some jacks out in the back porch that aren't used. Those are unhooked. But I took a voltage reading down there, and I'm pretty sure that a telephone service, like the one that powers this, an old school corded set, I don't remember if it's supposed to be 12 or 24 volts that them things run on. But the test downstairs with my multimeter confirms we only have about 5.70 volts coming in off of that telephone line. So it's very little, if any, voltage on the telephone system. So as the day goes on, the time's counting down. We have just about 6 hours, 5 hours, a little under 5 hours now, to get this situation corrected, to see if they can fix it or not, but we'll see.
So here we are out of the pack, and here's the Duracell batteries I'm telling you about. Claim that they're long life. And here's the design of the new ones. Kind of a metallic shiny color versus the old design. And here's the camera that we normally use for everything, our Kodak C330. So hopefully these will last quite a long while. This morning, before I'm allowed to do anything fun, radio-wise I should say, I need to clean up this heater. What this is a Kerosene Omni 105, and due to the cold temperatures they're calling for here, which might get down as low as -17 here Monday night into Tuesday, it never hurts to have a backup heat source, like if our furnace goes out or we lose electric. But I need to clean this thing up some, mainly because I didn't do it last year and I thought I did, and I burned it out in the garage a few times this past fall. But it never hurts to, you know, take it apart, disassemble it, clean all the rust and crap out of it, and just give it a good going through and checking the wick and stuff. So I'll take you along for the ride if anybody's never been through one of these. Very simple heater. Doesn't take but maybe 15 minutes to go through one, if that. That's cleaning mostly, so let's see what we get into.
My wife got Miss Kitty some new toys for Christmas, and she can't keep from throwing them underneath the cabinet. You'll come out and you'll pick it up for her, the toys, and then she'll be down on the floor playing with them. And the next thing you know, she'll sit right here and look at you, and she'll bat her mouse underneath of that cabinet. There's a bit of a gap underneath of there. If she can get a paw in there, she'll bat her toys right underneath of there. And I'm looking again. There's one of the new ones. That's about all I see. There's toys scattered everywhere down here. There's a couple more toys. There's a fish over there in her carrier right there. Got a lot of toys up there in the window ledge. Right here. More toys underneath of there. There's a tennis ball down there and another little mouse. So, let's see if it's underneath the cabinet yet again. I bet you that it is. And that's what we keep this dowel rod here for, because there it is, sure enough. A little mousey with a green tail, a little Christmas mouse. Now watch. A little catnip treat, isn't it? Look at you. Oh, you're so lazy sometimes. You're a good kitty, though. What do you say? Huh? What do you say? Yeah. Okay, I'll leave you alone.
So I have the burner assembly pulled out, and this is the actual top of the heater. And right here where my thumb's at, there's a tray, and it kind of collects in and it gets down in there from falling into the flame if it lands in these outer slots. And usually every year you'll have to wipe that out. It'll get rust and stuff. And then bear in mind, this heater's pushing probably 30-35 years old, and I've been around this thing since I've been a kid. This was my parents', and when they moved, they gave it to me because they didn't need it no more. So I'm very familiar with this heater as a kid. So here's our burner assembly. Very simple. I don't take this apart. I usually will just brush it off with a brush or something like that and clean it out. Blow it out real good with the air compressor. And down in here, this is our flame extinguisher right here. That's what works on that set lever, as you can see. And then your wick is down and below there. So now we have to take this outer barrel off, this part right here, which there's three thumb screws here, here, and then one around the back, and then this whole thing will lift up off of here. But make sure before you pull this off that your flame extinguisher is tripped, is all the way back in the retracted position, the pulled back position I should say, so you can lift that up off of there, because this will, when you pull this off, it'll allow that thing to trip, and it just makes a big pain, and watch your fingers around the thing. It's about like a guillotine.
Okay, here's a new one on me. Now, like I told you before, the owner stated that this unit would power up, but you would get no sound out of it, not a peep. Nothing out of the speaker outputs, nothing out of the headphone output, nothing. And I kind of suspected that possibly there's a little relay down in here, and that would click before when I just replaced the power fuse and it was bad. And as soon as the system would come on, it'd self-test and that relay would click and you had audio. Well, that relay does not click no more. And two, I noticed the longer that I had the thing on, the nuttier it acted. It wouldn't hold station presets when you shut the power button off and turned it back on. Some of the LEDs on it wasn't working correctly, so I don't know if this thing had some kind of a logic control issue, if that's even possible with this unit or not. But basically, let me show you what it's down to now. It's basically, I think it's in coma mode. You plug it in and power it up, that's all it'll say. 18888. I don't know if that's some kind of an internal error code or something like that, but we don't have any function lights. None of the speaker outputs work. Thing's just dead in the water, so I don't think this one's going to be going back home. If anybody's ever seen that before, let me know. Maybe we still can resurrect this thing, but it's not looking very good.
So now I've removed the barrel section from the top of the heater, and this is very easy to do. There's 3 screws that have a slot in them. You can just use a standard slotted screwdriver. Don't over tighten these, because you can bugger up the slots. As you see, these have been taken off numerous times. A lot of times you can fit either a dime or a penny in them and turn them. They don't need to be tightened and torqued down. So we take that off, and along the inside rim there's a lot of grunge that needs to come out of there. We'll sweep that out and clean it real good. Here's our burner assembly, and this kind of follows the same thing as the outer barrel. It's just got thumb screws right here that are hand tightened only. There's 3 of these. You just unscrew. There's one in the front here. There's one in the side over here. And then there's one back here in the back as well. Now, we're going to go ahead and lift our automatic extinguisher off. So you have to retract it back a little bit and pull it up. And look at all that crap that's in there. That all needs cleaned, all the stuff on top. And there's your wick. If you turn it up, let's say, there's your wick. That's right here. And when I'm inspecting the wick, I look for hard, crusty spots. Any place that carbon might have built up, I just kind of, break it off. There's a little bit of grunge there. This ain't real bad. One year we got a hold of some kerosene that had water in it, and I literally had to take the wick out of this heater and hang it on the clothesline and let it dry after wringing it out by hand, because the water come up through the wick and got up to the top, and it would burn, but it'd smoke real bad. It burned really low, like it was out of fuel, and the water was blocking the veins in the wick, and the wick couldn't draw the kerosene out of the out of the tank down here. So be very careful when selecting your kerosene where you get it from. That was a life lesson right there, that you got to watch that stuff. Now I won't pull the burner assembly out of the tank. I don't do that unless I change the wick. I don't really see any reason to. So I'll get the shop vac and I'll clean this all up and suck all the dirt and crap out of it. I'll pull this bottom pan out, which is just fairly easy to remove. There's one thumb screw right there, and you can turn this whole base. I believe it's counterclockwise. Yes, counterclockwise to the left. If you turn the whole thing to the left this way, you can lift this right off of the base. So let's get to cleaning.
This stairway off of our kitchen leads down into my workshop down in the basement. And I've said before that we live in an old two-story brick from the late 1800s. And every winter we have to do combat with mice running around the house. Not really in the living areas, but down here in the basement I have some trouble with them from time to time. So the other night I took a can of spray foam, and this has been needing done for a while. Went around the edge of the stairway here. It's going to get dark for a minute, I apologize. Went around the edges of the stairway and then come downstairs here and took care of some issues we've been having with gaps in the floor. We had this floor replaced, oh geez, what's it been? 3 years now, I think. And there was a nice gap between the wall and the joist. You can see all the way down in there, all the way to the other end, and then all the way back to this end, and over in there. Just had enough of all that stuff and sealed it up finally, so everything's taken care of. I took a piece of 1/4-inch tubing and slipped it over these ends that give you for the spray foam, which is this tubing right here. Put a little bit of electrical tape on there so the pressure wouldn't shoot it off, and it worked like a dream for getting up behind that last joist right there. So now I got to do some cleaning, because this place is a mess yet again. And stuff moved around everywhere. This little Pioneer has come back to me again. If you remember this one from earlier this year, it had a blown power fuse because of a set of speakers that had shorted out. Well, it's back again. This time it powers up, but we have no audio from the speakers whatsoever, so I need to pull this one apart and see what's going on, and I'll give updates as I'm going along. So that's on the works for this week, and we'll see what else time allots us.
Now here's the base all cleaned up. You can see it's looking much better than what it was. But I wanted to show you before we put it all back together. This is the bottom base plate for the heater. I don't worry so much about cleaning this up. You know, give it a good wipe down, sweep it off. But I just wanted to show you what that looked like before I put it back together. And right there's that one screw. That's that rusty one laying there. So let's go ahead and start reassembling. Oh, and if you wonder what this is for, this is for two D-cell batteries. And what this heater has is an electric igniter up in here. When you push this down in the front, this lever down in the front, it pokes a little igniter out of the top right there. And that has since quit working a long time ago. The igniter itself is bad. Now I have two of these Omni 105s, and the other one the igniter still works on, but I don't use it. I usually just light them manually with a stick lighter. So I'll start reassembling, and I'll give you a look at it when everything's done. Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, January the 5th, and Snowmageddon has begun, or so they say. Now, where I'm at, they're calling for upwards of 8 to 12 inches, but we'll see about that. And there you have it. Took me all of maybe 15-20 minutes at the most to clean this thing, but preventive maintenance, it'll last another 25, 30 years. What I like to use, and this works good on the radio cabinets and stuff too, is nothing harsh. It's a environmentally safe, biodegradable degreaser cleaner, and this stuff works good for a lot of different job tasks around the house. It's a citrus-based, heavy-duty cleaner and degreaser, and they used to sell the refill packs that went in these. Now, we bought these at, I think, Walmart several years ago, and it works great. Now, one thing I want to remind you guys when using these heaters, use some caution and remember to open a window or have a carbon monoxide detector in your house when using one of these, and be safe, among other things. Here's another album I hope to have posted on my YouTube site here before long. This is another stereo demonstration record from the Admiral Company, and this one was put out for solid state transistored stereo. No tubes for this one. It's got a nice selection of songs. I don't know if y'all make them out or not. It gives a description of our new flight deck style console stereos. And it shows the solid state chassis and the 4-speed record changers and your push button solid state stereo controls. We have woofers and mids and tweeters, and they claim that their system could put out 360 watts of peak power, all powered by an SM1 cartridge on the 4-speed turntable. Very impressive for its day. And for those of you who know kind of how my barnyard's laid out, this is what it looks like before said snow is supposed to get here today. And I'll give you an update on this when all is said and done. But the tractor's ready, snowblower's good to go. Now we wait. That's one thing I do like about this camera. It does take pretty good video. I can get right into my Sirius receiver. But it does not like low light at all. I think we still have all of our Christmas goodies out right now. Hard to believe Christmas is over already. Just seems like it got here.
I almost forgot before the video was over to tell you that it took a week, but we have phone again. Well, that's not a bad turnaround time for the phone company, isn't it? Yeah, you pay $100 and some a month for your phone, your internet, and your satellite to all be combined into one, and takes them a week to get it out to you so they can fix it for you. They found a problem in our box down by the pond where it flooded. Probably got water up in the box, or who knows. They've had mice nests down there in that box before. But the guy that came and serviced it for us checked that box, left a notice in our mailbox, and never came back to Lane to check to see if the connection here at the house was working, which it wasn't. And I also think, in addition to the problem down here at the road, our interface box on the side of the house has got the jack that disconnects the house from the line has got a lot of slop in the plug. You have to fiddle with it to get it to work. So, like I said, we once again have phones, so all is well in the state of Ohio. It was nice while it lasted, though. It was pretty peaceful around here. but back to normal again.
Using a clean rag, I wanted to show you what this degreaser stuff can do. Now this is a Bakelite plastic cabinet. And it'll just wipe all that nasty stuff away. Now, this cabinet will need polished, don't get me wrong. This is a very good way to clean this stuff. And you can see how much grime that is taken off. There's the clean side. And like I said, it won't 100% restore the cabinet to its before finish, but it makes a heck of a difference. Thanks for watching, guys.